Oh, he's talking probably about retirement. That's probably what he's
Let's
saying.
go.
What a day.
Yeah, we see the comment, Jack. What's up? You said what a day. Did you have a crazy day like of life, or was it kind of the Serena Williams news and that type of thing?
I'm thinking Serena because he sent me a message earlier.
Hopefully the sound's all right. I had to adjust it for the first time in a
Yeah.
while. All right. Yes, you are correct, Jack. An interesting day to say the least. We're going to get into that as a topic in of itself here in just a moment, but I will kind of prelude that topic in that I don't think Carla nor I were very surprised at all.
No, I mean she should have done this a while ago. I'm glad that she's gonna move on with her
Yeah.
life. I mean, gee, she really had nothing to prove. Um, I feel like she should have done it right after pregnancy, but I guess she thought she could still dominate.
Like after, let's see, she won her last major in 2017 after she won the Australian pregnant, or was it the U.S. Open?
Australian against her sister.
Anyway, we're going to talk all about this and more in just a minute. By the way, do not forget that the U.S. Open is starting, I want to say August the 29th, give or take a day. I might be a day or two off. Don't forget that the qualifying rounds start before that. So a few days before, the qualifying is important for us to watch, especially if you are going to be competing for the $700 cash and or both. The two $50 winners for the fantasy team. So make sure, Lovely, you can come up here with the dog. We always like to give a Sub-Zero update. So we had him on when he was 6 weeks old, and now he will be 9 months old on August the 19th. So he's a big boy, right? Let me see if I can get him a little bit closer. I don't want to drop him because he's really heavy. Ugh. All right, buddy. He's like way too big. But this is Sub-Zero. We name our dogs after Mortal Kombat characters, and he's like really big. What are you thinking? 65 right now? Because at the vet last time, he was 58, and we haven't been in a couple weeks, so he's all caught up on a shot, right? All right, buddy, you gotta go. Watch his leg. Oh my god.
He's a big
Oh,
mouth.
watch out! Watch his legs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big mouth.
Holy cow, he's big. Anyway, don't forget the only thing you need to do to qualify to play the games is to subscribe. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. That's going to be wicked. There's a lot of you playing the fantasy teams now with Gene Swart, Thomas Cheese. Shout outs out there for keeping up with the scoring. You guys are beasts. We love you a lot. All right, starting today's show as always with a couple of shout outs. Number one, yesterday we missed our typical Monday show during non-majors. We did that because it was Carlita's birthday.
Yep. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, the shout outs, the gifts. I got something from my 8-year-old student. Her mom saw the post for my kids. They left me M&Ms because they know it's my favorite. So her mom, I guess, was in Mexico and she got this. And it says cacahuates. And that's for M&Ms, cacahuates, peanuts. Exceso calorías. Exceso azúcares, exceso grasa saturada. So here it's telling you that it's excessive.
That's excessive? Oh, it's like giving you a calorie warning or something?
Yeah. I didn't realize that.
So that's how it comes out in foreign countries?
Yeah. So in English, it doesn't tell you that, but in Spanish, it does.
So can I role play this? Show them that at the pictures. So
I just didn't realize
understand what she's saying. What's up, Eleanor? Oh, no, spill that.
I'm trying to get it.
That's going to be hard to decipher.
They can blow that out.
Okay.
I didn't realize that. So it says Secretaría de Salud. So they're telling you that, their health.
So you're telling me that bag of M&Ms is from where?
It's Mexico. See?
Mexico.
It's in Mexico.
So you're saying what it is saying in there in Espanol
Yeah.
is basically saying if I was getting this in the U.S. and it actually had this written in English, I would grab this off the shelf and I would get it and be like, hey, Mom.
I mean, I'm sure I'm translating that right, Jose?
I would be like, hey, Mom, let me get this bag of M&Ms, and then she picks it up. She's like, no, this is awful. This is excessive. This is too much. No, that wouldn't make any sense.
I'm telling you. Okay, so I'm gonna put here in Spanish. Okay?
Can you say again what it says?
It says excessive calories, excessive sugars, exceso calorías, exceso azúcares, exceso grasas saturadas. That's saturated, the saturated fats. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm translating this right to English.
Anyway,
excess.
excessive. I think
Yeah,
they're. I
it's
think
telling you, yeah. Oh, he says yes. The Mexican Coke bottles also say excess sugar,
Oh.
and that I mean,
what do they say on Diet Coke?
I'm like, damn, I don't know if I could eat that.
What do they
But
say?
anyways, I told her I would hang it. So.
All right. So if you go into a store, there's like excess sugar, excess caffeine, excess grease, excess fat, excess. How do they sell anything? I agree with what they say. I think the truth is the best. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. Back to Carla's birthday. So Carla and I have.
That wasn't my birthday gift.
I know.
Okay.
Carla and I have for the past 11 years, and we discussed this. For 11 years, we have not done anything for either or's birthday. Carla always says to me every birthday, "This is going to be another shitty birthday." You always say that every year.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Often. In other words, she's not saying shitty, but she says, that's always just another day. It's not, whatever. And we got so used to that, we just forgot about it, right? Mm-hmm. So we decided this birthday, her 43rd, 43, her 43rd birthday, we're going to take her wherever she wants to go, and let's just make a day of it. So we dropped our kids off at school. We went across the bay on the ferry. We came back. We did a little window shopping. Basically, that's how it turned out. We ate breakfast and we ate lunch. Mm-hmm. But we had a great time. So happy belated birthday. I mean, I was with you yesterday, but happy birthday again. All right. So shout out number 1 was to Carla. Shout out number 2 is to Lorraine Crook from Diamonds Jewelers in Gulf Shores, Alabama. For the longest time, Carla and I have wanted to get our 5K tennis logo, which we've had, and we've always thought about putting it on our necklaces. And we've always worn the necklaces, but we just wore pendants like tennis rackets or.
He always wanted the necklaces.
Yes.
He made.
So anyway, we went to this jewelry store a couple of months ago for another reason, and ultimately we got into discussion about making these 5K tennis pendants, and they did it. So shout out to Steven, aka the scientist behind the deal, and thank you to Lorraine for an amazing store, an amazing experience. Also, a shout out to YTech Strings, Igor Savage, who owns the company, and shout out to Adam Frio, our sponsorship coordinator at Diadem. Both of them are putting out gear, strings, apparel, you name it, on the table for the U.S. Open. So be ready for that. All right, last shout out, Lily. Okay. Last shout out is to my middle child. So we have 5 children, hence the name, 5K. She's the middle one. She's the 13-year-old, and she is an up-and-coming, very good tennis player. I'm having to kick the dog because he's like chewing on her jeans. But anyway, I'm going to put her in this chair because she has a tournament this weekend, right? She hasn't played a tournament in a while, and she has really, really, really gotten better, and she's gotten very much more physical. Like, she's bringing the pain, okay? She's a strong girl just like Carla. And she's 13. We tend to forget that she's only playing in the 14s. Lily won her state sectionals at the high school level on the varsity level last year. Sure, there'll be some good girls there, but Lily is very, very much one of the best in the business at her age. Another exception, Ella Bentley. I was going to say Brantley. Bentley. Then there's a couple other ones. Heina Mankova. What's her daughter's name?
She's not playing on that.
But either way, those are some of the really good people their age. They're a little bit older.
Her daughter's name is actually Tez or Teresa.
Okay, good. She's a little bit older, but nonetheless.
No, they're actually the same age.
Great, even better. So there's a couple of young girls around here that are really good, and those are 2 of them.
That came from Gulf Shores.
She's from Croatia, I think. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to sit Lily down, and we're going to ask Lilian a couple questions about her tennis and how she feels like she's going to do this upcoming tournament.
All right.
All right. By the way, Carla, I had this box in my lap, but Carla also had a pair of Jordan Taxi 8s that are very nice, right? Very nice. Okay. Anyway. Oh, I wrote you a note too.
Yes, I know. You wrote it like a week ago. I saved it. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna read that.
Don't read the note, please.
Okay. Are you ready for question number 1, Lily? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Lily. So you have your first tournament coming up in a couple of days. Not your first tournament, but your first one in a while. I think the last tournament we played was at the same club, Bayou Bluff and Gulfport. Love the place. What's up, Toby? Love the place. How do you currently feel, not even necessarily tennis related, how do you currently feel as a person, as a human being moving into this upcoming weekend? How do you feel as a human being? Not even necessarily tennis. Loose, relaxed, anxious, stressed out. School just started. They all just started school, by the way. Are you chill or are you on edge at all?
No, I'm not really on edge. I'm just tennis wise. I'm a little nervous. I'm not sure how it will go. I'm not very certain. I don't have much confidence. But as a human being, as you're saying, I feel perfectly fine.
Okay, that's a good way to start. We personally, your mom and I, we personally feel that you are a heavy favorite to win it. And I hate to say that because it puts more pressure on you. You know, if you play in the first round, you have a bad match, you know, maybe you take a loss. Ultimately, we're gonna be just positive, okay? But my question to you is how do you react to us, your mom and dad, coaches? How do you react to us thinking that you should be a heavy favorite to win it? Does it add pressure?
Maybe a little pressure, but it also adds a little doubt for me. Like I don't
Anyways.
feel.
Did you just hit a fly?
Yeah, smacking the fly on the wall.
Okay. Oh man. Go ahead.
All right, that was my notebook.
You hit
Taking
a
care of
fly.
the dog's butt.
See, that's how you should feel when you should play matches. Laugh about it. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
I
Have
wish
fun.
I could.
It doesn't matter. This is just to see how good you're doing. How are you know, what's your progress report? What do you need to work on? You had fun at state. This is not a big deal. Who cares? Do you know how many youngsters win USTA tournaments and then they don't do jack shit as they get older?
A dime a dozen.
So many.
Yeah.
Who cares? It's
Dime-
just for you to have experience. Match play. That's it.
dime a
Juniors
dozen.
means nothing. Got it?
Dime a dozen. And that's how you have to look at things, at least on the tennis court. And not in life necessarily, because life has a lot more pressures than playing the game. But to play the game at the highest level, and honestly, you have the potential to do so. I know so. She's 13, right? And sometimes when I'm in the kitchen or if I'm cooking or if I'm taking the trash out, you know, Carla's usually right behind me. So I'm always thinking that Carla's right behind me. You know, I can just kind of feel her presence. But now I feel the same presence when she's behind me. So sometimes I like reach back and I'm like, Carla, and I'm like, damn, it's Lily. So in other words, your mom is no slouch. Your mom is quite a specimen. She's very strong. She's very thick. She's naturally strong, just like her father. She's naturally jacked up, and you're the same way. Look, I would have to dream of spending hours in the gym to get the legs or the arms that you have, and you have it naturally. So my next question is this: your main attribute, whether you're playing a quality player in terms of tactics or strokes, your main category in which you would check, I got this category, they may have 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 tactics, they may have strokes, they may have serve and volley, and you may have none of those, which you do, I'm just saying. But there's one attribute in the game of tennis in which trumps all of them combined: fitness and strength and endurance, okay? The key for you with all these muscles and all this jacked upness is to make the matches physical. Okay. Do you think that smacking the ball really hard is going to make this match or your matches physical? Or do you think putting the ball here, putting the ball there, moving your opponent up, putting your opponent to the corner, drawing them forward, going at them, making them create space? Do you think that's the way to make things physical? Or do you think it's making it physical by every ball that you get, trying to whack the winner and get off the court in 20 minutes?
Whacking it is definitely not the way. That's what most juniors do or think is the correct way, but it's really not. You're just making your points shorter, and it's either a win or a miss.
Yeah. Tennis is not a sprint, it's a marathon. At least you should train that way. At least you should plan to have a slugfest and hope for the destruction really quickly, right? We all hope and pray for a bagel. But a lot of times we end up in a dogfight. And that dogfight sometimes goes 3 sets. You have to come back from 2 sets down, blah, 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 blah. If we're only trained to whack the ball 1 or 2 times, we're going to miss. And if we have a bad day at the office, we're going to lose. I would offer you this advice. No pressure at all. We're going to have a good time regardless. That I can promise you. You need to make your matches physical because there's no one 13 years old that has near the firepower you do in terms of body. And that's a big, big, big thing. So my only advice to you would be to make your matches physical. All right, next question. Now you're 13 years old and you have one of the biggest serves at anyone at our racket club. Am I lying? She's 13. And when I mean big, I mean when she gets it in and she's going for it, she's triple digits. She's 100. She's right hovering at 105, maybe pushing 110 at times. I mean, she brings the freaking pain. It's so comical when some of these. Never mind. Okay, but my question to you is though, the serve is very, very, very important. Okay, very important. How well do you think you're serving now, and how consistently do you think you can get that big first serve in? Not that it matters.
We're about to hear the booking and goes, he probably sees another dog.
I'm sure.
Wow,
Sub-Zero,
twins.
chill, bro.
He said, wow, twins, copy and paste space, amazing, laugh out loud.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. What's up, Vanity?
She has the curly, thick ass hair. I have thick hair, but not curly like her.
Okay, the question is, Lily, how well do you think you're serving right now?
First serve wise, I think I could get maybe 6 out of 10.
So 60%?
Yeah. Not that as consistent as I would like it to be, but I've been working on a second serve, and I think I could get that in at least 80% of the time.
Okay, so this is great. I'm glad you actually processed that information by means of statistics. We play drills with Lily where, you know, we're striving for 75%. So we're striving for 7 out of 10 plus, right? When you play this tournament this weekend, by all means, go for it when you're up a bit. If you go out there and you're sizing up your opponent and warm up, you know, you're taking mini tennis and you're feeding a couple to their forehand, you're feeding a couple to the backhand, you feel like you're going to handle them anyway, go for your big serve. Who cares? You know, squander a few points, double fault, whatever. But I can assure you one thing. If you get one of the top seeds in the first round, right, or something like that, go ahead and go for your big serve early, or maybe wait and go for your big serve later. But I can assure you don't need to go for it big all the time if you're missing it against a player that can beat you based upon what you saw at warm-up, right? So if we see, the reason why we warm up in tennis, you go out and you shake hands and you flip the coin, whatever, spin the racket, you go out and you start warming up. The purpose of that warm-up, mini tennis at the service line, into the baseline, is not to warm up. You should be warmed up long ago, right? Even if it means running around the club, you should be warmed up long ago. The purpose of that warm-up is to check out your opponent's game.
Fridays are tough, though. Friday afternoon, all the kids are out of school. That's going to be a tough.
What?
Because they're going to be tired. They're going to be driving. So you
for her match Friday
you
night?
got to see who's tired.
That's okay.
I'll answer your question, Trouble Mind, but Van Lee asked, Carla just disregarded Justin's jeans, that brown. I feel like I'm looking at a mirror. Whose game does she like on the tour?
We're going to talk about this as a topic.
All right, and I'm going to answer Trouble Mind's question. Well, they say at 20, you think you know everything. At 30, you admit you know something. At 40, you realize that you don't know anything. So, Carla, at 43, how do you feel? I actually feel like I know everything. I wish that I would play the tennis that I'm playing now.
It's a great comment.
When I was 16, 17, because I feel like my game could stop a lot of people. If I thought the way I think right now about the game, the angles, the strategy, I wish I thought the same way, even about life, you know, like I used to get mad a lot when I was 17, 18. I was kind of like her. Now I get angry for like 2-3 minutes and I'm done with it. Before I used to care what people thought. Now I don't, you know, so I think I know a lot more. I actually think I know a lot about life. If I were to die right now, I would say I'm happy because I've, you know.
Kind of a bad thought.
No, I'm just saying, you know, most people are like, oh, I wish I could have done this. I wish I could have done that. I think I've done a lot.
No regrets.
I have no regrets right now in my 40s.
Do you know what I want to see most in life, honestly?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see my children at my age.
Sure, yeah, I get it. I don't think they will make the same mistakes, though.
Look, we have 5 children. We have the 2 oldest that are in their junior year and freshman year at the United States Air Force Academy.
They won't make my mistakes. My mistakes are stupid. I didn't do good at school, and they did that.
Because I didn't let them do that.
Well, I mean, they're different. I was very rebellious, even though my dad punished me, spanked me, whatever, took everything away. I was a different type of kid. They're not like me. They're not built like me. They're a lot smarter than I am. So,
Liliana, what is my number 1 rule in this house?
Make A's.
Make straight A's. There's hell to pay. Okay. Anyway, back to your tennis tournament this weekend, and I'll squash this question with a little bit of advice. If you find yourself double faulting some, check your ego at the gate. Don't give a shit what it looks like, and just tap the ball in. Now, you shouldn't do that because we were doing second serve drills the other day, and you were rolling them in, pronating, nice hop. You were hitting spots. You were doing really well. Sorry, I had hiccups. You were doing really well rolling that kick serve in every time. So if you find you're missing that first serve really big, you threw out against a player that's weaker than you, go for it. Go ahead and ooh and all the crowd and get some free points. Because everybody's going to be saying, how does a 13-year-old girl serve that way? But ultimately, if you're missing by a country mile, ultimately the novelty of how big your service to raise wears off. And they're like, okay, well, she can serve hard, but she can't get it in. And then you'll lose if you get wrapped up into that. So the best thing to do is forget about who's watching you. Anything that happens inside the fence is inside the fence. Anything outside the fence has no interference in the match at all. Tune it out, right? Roll that serve in and beat them on your legs with your body and make it physical. If you're double faulting, how quick is that point? It doesn't even get started. So your goal is to make it physical. You can't make the match physical if you're double faulting all the time. Fair enough? All right, next question. And
so Bentley asks, is Justin the crazy dad, like Georgie's dad?
No.
He's neither of those. He paces a lot. I hate that. Like, I'm very relaxed. You'll never see my face change just because I remember my dad just like looking at me with a dead stare, and he would go like this to me. He would be like, and he would be cursing and stuff. And so I promised myself that I would never be like him when I watch my kids play. I'm very chilled out, and I think you just pace a lot. You don't say much.
Yeah,
I mean, if you criticize something, you'll say it to me so they don't hear it, but
yeah.
I don't even like hearing it because I don't want to hear it. I'm like,
well, let's ask Lily this. Lily has felt my presence many a times on the sidelines. Lily, you told me one of your last tournaments you played, this wasn't sectionals that you won. You won sectionals, but when you played this tournament the last time where I got frustrated that you lost to a player that you were way better than, you told me, well, I think you told your mom, and she told me that you didn't want me to watch because I made you feel tight, right? But yet I watched you at your state sectionals here that you won. You beat a junior or senior from Fairhope High School in the final. You beat her, I think, in straight sets. Like junior maybe, and she was in 7th grade. Think about that, 7th grade. Were you 12 years old then?
No, my birthday had just happened.
Okay, so she had just turned 13, and she beat a junior in high school in Fairhope, which is a very respectable town with a very respectable organization for tennis over there. It's a beautiful place, much love for sure. But you took out their player as a 13-year-old. That should give you some confidence going into a 14 and under tournament because you beat people that would be playing in 18s. See what I'm saying?
He sounds like Joseph Jackson. Oh man.
Go.
I think the only time I usually I like clap for my kids and stuff. I think the only one time I went overboard, 2 times, was with Christopher. He was losing to this chunky kid. You were yelling because again it was a school we didn't like, and they're disrespectful to other public schools. And you were yelling, and I was telling you, shut up, get out.
Yeah.
But I was like, come on, Christopher, come on. And I kept pumping him up, but no disrespect to the chunky player. But there was one match.
No disrespect to that fat fucker.
Wow. Okay.
You said the same thing. I said
it in a nice way.
Yeah, right.
But there was one match with Christopher.
How do you say no respect for the chunky kid in a nice way?
I mean, the way
you might as well just tell like.
So, anyways, Christopher was playing the same tournament that Lily's about to play, and he had a really good opponent. Semifinals. I could feel my heart beating like really fast because I knew the kid was good. Like Christopher would serve hard, and they were playing points back and forth, and he took a point away from Chris, and that's like when I came out of like.
Why did he take the point away?
He hit it out. The kid hit it out, and Christopher called it out. He kept playing the point. He did this tweener shot, and it went out.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like,
just stopped the point.
And I was like, man, what are you doing? I was like, that was out. Didn't you see him calling? He's like, he didn't say anything. I'm like, man, I was like, where's your sportsmanship? And his mom's like, let the kids. I'm like, but your son has, and I've never said that to another mom. Your kid has no sportsmanship. He doesn't know how to be respectful. I've never said that to another parent, but it just came out of me. And she was, little did I know, a dentist who owns her own
So? What does that matter?
She's probably like, who is this stupid girl?
Yes, I mean,
But the kid gave me this look. So every time Christopher won a point, I was like, come on. I was like, come on. I kept going in his face. And then when Christopher beat him, I was like, let's go, Christopher. That's why you're number one. And the kid kept looking at me. And I'm like, that's the only time that my New York came out of me. Other than that, I'm usually like very calm and I don't say anything. They know I stay quiet. I walk away or something because I try not to be your typical tennis parent. Like,
okay,
I try to be very relaxed.
So before we get to the first topic, and we've had a great introduction. I love the energy. Thanks 5K fam for you being here because we love you a lot. But the reason why Carlita here indicated that it was one of the quote unquote schools we did, she said with a school that we didn't like is because of this. So the public high school here in Southern Alabama that we assist coaching with, Ms. Ramirez respectively is the coach of the team and the teacher. They don't have tennis courts. The closest tennis courts are like 45 minutes away where we teach. And they found a way to win because of her, the state sectionals for the girls, not just for you, but you go to the sectionals as an individual, not as a team. You got there and won it. Our second oldest son, Christopher, got there as one of these kids as well and won it. So both of our kids won their sectionals. But they get a lot of hate. Why do they get a lot of hate? Because they're considered the kids from the other side of the tracks. Period. I want to elaborate on that.
These kids can drive whatever car they want.
And these kids are showing up in brand new Tahoes, brand new Mercedes, brand new Volvos, up to the spot. They got tennis courts like right there, and coach. I can pay $60 an hour here, 5 times a week. Boom, 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 boom. These kids got none of that. None. But yet they show up and they win. By the way, this year, Bryant, what's up, make some noise, is going to do damage, especially on the girls' side, for sure this year. So I implore any coaches out there that have kids that don't play on the team, they better play this year. Otherwise, we're going to show up again. The teams that should win, you better show up because we're going to beat you again. And we already beat you once.
Trouble Mind, the only thing I would say I would change at 18, thinking that I was in a rush to grow up, trying to get out of my parents' house, thinking that I could be an adult, thinking I knew everything. But I can't change. Had I taken the scholarship, maybe I wouldn't have had 5 kids. I wouldn't have met you.
Isn't that the most special thing in the world?
Had I done things differently, maybe the right way, maybe I wouldn't be in this spot right now,
So what's wrong with our spot right now?
Nothing. I'm just saying, at 18, I thought I knew everything, but maybe it was supposed to be that way, I thought, hey, I can't wait to get out of my parents' house. I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to school. I'm going to go try to be a pro. And, that's how I thought. I didn't think the world was against me. I thought I had the world in my hands, is what I thought.
An ending for this part of the questions for Lily, and about to ask her the last one. You just said a perfect statement. There was a song, and I forget who sang it. You can put it in comments if you know who it is. It might be the Carpenters, if you've heard the Carpenters. There's a song, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the... You heard this before?
Yes.
You do have the whole world in your hands. You are doing exactly what you have passion for.
No, I mean, at 18, I thought I
understand that. But if you think about it, and I'm saying this in a very positive way, you have 5 beautiful kids. All of them are successful, all of them athletic, all of them tennis players. Even our 6-year-old is lighting it up insofar as he made adults mad the other night at one of our clinics because his 6-year-old ass was beating some of them and they got disgruntled about it. I wish they didn't have their kids in here. Anyway, no worries. We'll handle that privately and discreetly. But you are extremely blessed to have such a beautiful daughter, much less 4 others. And doing what you love to do. Sometimes when I hear you, Coach Carla, I have to turn around the other way and just listen. Like, I don't even want to see you because I always get attracted by your structure. So if I see you, then I'm like, damn, Miss Park. I'm like, damn. So if I turn away, then I can grasp in what I want to grasp in, and that's the passion of a coach. I love the passion of a coach, right? Mm-hmm. Coaching is amazing. It fires me up. So I have to turn my head sometimes to grasping your coaching. But when I hear you like today, when you were coaching Sophie, come on, girl, turn. I was like, let's go, Miss Parker. Let's freaking go, Miss Parker. That's how I was today. So you're extremely blessed. You do what you do. And the best thing you are best at, besides being a great mother, is being a freaking awesome coach. Best around. That's a fact. Okay? All right, Lily, last question for you, and then you're out. And this leads into our first topic. Okay? If you didn't know, if you haven't heard, Serena Williams is retiring. Okay, I think we talked about this, Carla and I, this morning. We saw a Vogue magazine cover, and we were like, that's kind of it. And then we researched it, and it was.
Well, so many of you sent me messages. Actually,
Yes.
yeah. I really don't follow a lot of the tennis stuff unless people are sending it to me.
So Liliana's favorite tennis player of all time is Serena Williams, hands down. And that's not something new. She's 13, and she started hitting balls at 2 years old. I've got pictures. Carla was pregnant on a tennis court feeding Lily balls. Have you seen this picture, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, anyway, Carla was 9 months pregnant. The picture I took with Carla coaching Lily, I think you broke water that night. Didn't we come home from teaching Lily that lesson, and then you broke your water that night, and we went straight to Jackson Hospital in Montgomery?
Mm-hmm.
So the night that she gave birth to Gabriella, that day she was coaching Lily. Fact, and I have a picture. Okay. Serena Williams is retiring. Your favorite player. A. Will you miss her and why? And B. What made her your favorite player? Elaborate.
Well, I don't think I'll really miss her much because she really hasn't been here much. She's kind of been, I don't know, first round kind of. That was her first appearance in a while. She hasn't really been showing up too much, so she was already kind of fading. So there's not much to miss when you've already gone through the part of like missing her once she gave birth and like stayed out of tennis for a while. So she was already out of it for a while. So you're kind of used to that already. And then what made her my favorite tennis player was she really changed the dynamics of tennis. She really did. For women's like style of playing, she had a really solid game, played a lot harder, didn't push the ball. She just had a more compact game than most, and she was an inspiration for most.
Okay. What made her your favorite? What made her your favorite player? The same things basically you said that you'll miss her for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Liliana, one last thing. So one last thing for Lily. Liliana, by the way, writes very well. I have a motto here: don't bring me home a B, because there's a million people in this planet that wish that they had a chance to make an A, and if they did have that chance, they would never make a B. So Lily's a smart girl. She writes very well. She wrote a letter to, I forget who it was, and when I read it, I was like, wow, that's actually very good at any level. Punctuation, grammar, the right word selection was very fluid. The writing was clean. Anyway, Lily, by the way, is no slouch to hustling. So she's 13. Lily actually is no stranger to buying and selling a shoe. So Lily, as well as all of our kids, since they were very young, Jonathan, Chris, I would always start them out with like one pair of rare Jordans. So I would buy them the shoe, right? I think Jonathan's first shoe I bought him was like a cement Jordan 4. And I told him, if you keep those clean, and at the end of the year, if when you outgrow them, I'll clean them, I'll put new laces in them, keep the originals, and we'll resell them, and you'll get probably more. If they're super clean, you're probably getting more than I paid for them back, being that it's a cement 4. And then you can have $100 and put it in your pocket. Plus, you can buy another pair of shoes. And what happened? That. So Liliana has gotten into the business, and Liliana bought these shoes. But every year we buy our kids that are too young to have hustled them in return a pair of shoes. This was Lily's first pair of shoes she bought. She bought these straight up, cash money. It's the Army. Better get the Navy. But she bought these, Lily, on her own. Okay? Pair of Jordan 5s, pink. Gnarly, man. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Icy bottoms. Lily bought these. Okay? Bought them herself. So my question to you, Lily, is this. How does it make you feel to be able to drop $220 on the table and knowing that you paid for it, knowing you worked for it? She worked her ass off, by the way, all summer long, picking up balls, helping coach at our clinics this summer, and worked her ass off, pulling weeds, breaking courts, everything we asked her to do, she did. Okay, so not only does she have money from that, but she also bought her first pair of fully paid for Jordans on her own. That if she keeps them clean, we'll get that money back, and then she'll still have the rest of her money left. How does that make you feel to be able to buy your first pair of Jordans? And she put the cement laces in there. See those special laces? How does that make you feel, girl?
Good. I'm glad I have money to spare.
That's right. That's right. Okay, Lily, that's a wrap. All right.
That's a good Michael Walker. She might be pregnant.
Who?
Because she's
Serena again?
Because he said she looks a little bigger. I was looking at her belly. I was like, yeah. I was
Or
like,
she just ate more.
you know, Mike Walker said she was like stellars. No way. When Serena came out, we watched them as little kids. People were amazed by them. And I'm not looking at color either, but let's be real. When I played tennis, it was a white sport. And that's a fact 100%. Okay?
Well, no.
It was.
In Southern California, we were playing with Michael Chang.
In California, but not in New York. Only the rich people, I'm sorry, would play tennis. Okay? I remember my dad taking me to clubs. He could barely afford the rackets and stuff. It was a very expensive sport. You didn't see that many minorities playing tennis. I mean, you didn't. But when these two sisters came out, I remember when I was sponsored by Reebok. Holy shit, they were Reebok girls. All of a sudden, you saw in New York a whole bunch of kids wanting to be like them. You're like, oh my God, these two girls with the braids, African American, they got a dad that talks like an idiot, and they're still playing tennis this way, and people respect him. So many parents, ding, 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 oh, my kids can play tennis.
Yeah.
Oh shit. If these two girls, and look at the dad, the way he speaks, they don't come from money, and they got all these sponsors. Everybody wants them.
Let's go, Bryant.
Why can't we do it?
Let's go, Bryant High School. Let's go, Bryant High School.
So I'm just saying, there's no way Sellis brought the same crowd that Sellis did. She brought the minorities. Not only that, when you looked at her as a woman, like Justin asked me, what's the most memorable thing you can think of her? When she won her first U.S. Open, everybody at the hotel. I worked for the Ramada Plaza Resort. I was 18 years old, 19, almost 19, 18, because she's a couple years younger than me. And I watched her, and we were all pumping up every color, every class. She brought something. She made you want to cheer for her. Her grunt, her style, her muscles, the physique. We've never seen that. You telling me that Sellis looked that way? With the two hands, that was awful tennis, ugly tennis, because Sellis had the ugliest tennis. But this girl that can just blast the ball, and she would scream and blast the ball. And she had a sister that was winning before her.
Can I drop in an interesting freaking fact?
What?
Serena Williams won her first major in 1999 at the U.S. Open. Think about that. I know for us that are 40 years old, 45, I'll be 45 in November 1. However, 1999 is the city where we come from, so run. Do you remember that Bone song?
Sellis was definitely not an athlete.
Let's go, Bone.
She didn't even have the body of an athlete. And here comes this girl. So she made people want to play. She made people want to watch her. The lady that always sat, that was her, the one, what do you call her? Not her promoter, the one that took care of everything.
Publicist.
Her publicist. The same lady, I remember meeting her as I was playing challenges. She's still there with her. She had power. She exuded power. You wanted to be like Serena.
Mm-hmm.
Reebok, then came Puma, then came Nike, the outfits, the crazy outfits. We have never seen a type of player like this.
Look,
so many said Osaka is going to be the next Serena. Osaka's done.
Osaka just quit today playing Kanepi.
Done.
And we'll talk about that in a minute.
Andrescu beat her. And
Andrescu?
maybe Andrescu's going to be it. Raducanu, that's laughable. I'm sorry.
Raducanu?
Look at that, Michael Walker. Your bet's about to be lost. This girl can't win.
Cleveland.
There's no one that's been close to Serena. No one. Her sister was the closest one. I was looking at their record today, and I'm like, holy crap, Serena played her 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 finals. 7 finals the sisters played. Had Serena not existed, Venus would have 7 more titles.
We could say the same thing about Djokovic and Nadal for Federer.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. But these were sisters. I mean, she destroyed Sharapova 2017, 1 and 2. I mean, she was very dominant. We had not seen that for a long time. Her serve, better than most guys' serves. Yes?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just saying.
At least pinpoint with power. So, you know, a lot of guys can blister the ball in first serve. They make it clean. By the way, speaking of serves, and we're going to talk about this in a moment, we're going to bring up Nick Kyrgios and his chances to win the U.S. Open and whether or not we think he will win it or not. And I think we're divided on this. Anyway, the key to a loose and the key to a powerful, on-point, hitting your spot serve is being loose. Whack, whack, whack. Like you got fire ants on your hand, or you got sulfuric acid on your hand, or whatever eats your flesh off. And you just have one chance to sling it off. Bah! That's how we're serving, with the shoulder being equally as loose. Bah! Bah! And Kyrgios does that. We'll talk about Kyrgios and his serve and whether or not it can allow him or enable him to get enough free points to ebb and flow through his theatrics and win the U.S. Open. We'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah.
But yes, Serena's serve, if she has a good day at the office and if she is hitting all her spots and if she is
before she got pregnant. Before she was solid and dominant. That's what players were scared of her.
So 2017 and prior, even though she won the Australian Open in 2017.
Yeah, but people, every girl that stepped up there, they were scared. You know, Serena, oh my God, I'm going to play Serena. They respected her that much. You know, now, I mean, it's obviously not the same, but I'm saying her serve alone gave her so many free points. Do you know what it is to be able to serve that good and not have to hit another ball after that? Just serve ace after ace.
Look, I saw this come down from Van Lee, and he's asking William Spencer a question, and I had to jump into this because I want to be involved. So Van Lee asked William Spencer, who is your WTA crush?
Oh, look at the guys.
Look, my WTA crush, no doubt, back in the day was Ana Ivanovic, my favorite. Even before Ana Ivanovic was Gabriela Sabatini. I got her name on my arm here. Oh, no, it's on this side.
That's your daughter.
It's on this side. But I named our daughter after her. So Gabriela is my daughter's name, but we named our daughter after Gabriela Sabatini. But my current crush, believe it or not, has nothing to do with the head up. Decapitated, brown bag, whatever. It's from the neck down. And she's still playing, though. She's still playing.
Wait, let me guess. The one that dances?
No, Pekovic? No.
Oh, okay.
What?
Wait.
Sabine Lisicki.
Oh, but she's pretty.
She's hot.
Why would you put a bag on her?
Because she's,
Why would you put a bag on her?
Okay, well, I wouldn't. I'll take the bag off. But that's my current fan. And then if it was a player right now without the bag, Badosa. I'm going
Why
Paula
would you
Badosa.
talk about women this way?
That's a bad thing?
That's a terrible thing. Hey, let me put a bag on the guy's
Did
face.
you see Kaya Kanepi today?
Why would you put a bag on that? First of all, that's disrespectful.
I didn't mean
Any
it that
guy
way.
that says they gotta put a bag over a girl's head.
I didn't mean it that way.
Wait a minute.
I'm saying crush.
Then you might as well get a dummy, like these sick guys do at these stores.
Oh, that's not good.
Okay, don't ever say you're gonna put a bag
I didn't
on a
mean
woman's face.
Man, I'll tell you what. Anyway, Sabine Lisicki is the ultimate woman crush. I guess I should have said it this way. Some people think Sabine Lisicki has the body of pricelessness, but she's not the most beautiful from the shoulders up.
Who cares?
But if I had to have a whole package, I would go Paula Badosa. Current. Otherwise, Ana Ivanovic. Why are you knocking Paula Badosa?
I'm sorry. She's pretty. Yes. Everybody's pretty in their own way, but I'm laughing because I would have expected for you to say maybe Sloane Stephens because she's
she's up there. She's up there.
To me.
Sloane Stephens is up there.
But talking about Sloane Stephens and that match, Kevin, we'll talk about that later.
We got a topic for that.
That's horrible.
All right.
But going back to Serena, don't tell me that many of you guys didn't have a crush on her when Serena looked like a stallion. Do you guys remember her in that Sports Illustrated with the white bathing suit?
She used to stop me in the grocery line.
I mean, like, seriously, how many people would envy that? I mean, Serena was strong. There was like no fat on her. Strong. We had never seen a tennis player like her. Now we see it. Now we see a lot of players like her, built strong like her.
Yeah. We used to check out the grocery store that had the beginnings of the self-checkout, and Carla and I have always done the self-checkout. So we're checking groceries out, and there was that Sports Illustrated issue with Serena with the white bathing suit on. And it would be right in front of me, and I'd be trying to scan groceries. We'd have like an assembly line. So I would scan the groceries, and then Carla would put it in the bag, and she'd put it in the cart. So it was an assembly line. but the magazine was right here in front of me. And then I got lost in translation of the assembly line because I was staring right at the picture. And she's like, get that picture away. Not really. You were supportive of that. But yes, Serena Williams at that point in time was damn Miss Parker for sure. No doubt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I did see that. Oh, Hannah Mankova's daughter. Yeah, I did see that. They gave her an interview. He didn't see it though.
What?
Remember Hannah in the 90s, the big tall lady?
Oh, I thought you were talking
They used to
about.
play against Steffi Graf. She was a tall woman.
I thought she was talking. You're talking about one of the girls' moms.
Same name.
Same name.
Yeah.
Wow, small world. Okay, question number 1. Can you please poll question this, Carla?
Mm-hmm.
Poll question it. You ready? All right. Answer this poll question. I think it's an important poll question, given that this won't ever happen again. Okay. Serena Williams is retiring. Here's the poll question: is Serena Williams the GOAT? Fairly simple. Is she the GOAT? Now, while she's typing that, Carla and I Googled up that question today. Actually, that wasn't exactly how we typed it, and you can check my math or our math on this. We Googled up the following question, quote, WTA woman with the most major wins. Okay, WTA majors or WTA women with the most wins. Do you know that Margaret Court did not come up on those lists? Even Wikipedia, in their brief synopsis before you enlarge the page, doesn't even mention it. It says Serena Williams has 23. You have to click on it and expand it and then find the actual list. So none of these sites that we Googled up even recognized Margaret Court at the top unless you clicked on the article and expanded it.
You can't even say determined because she's not in competition with Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal. There is no one close to her like that. Maybe Steffi Graf, yes. But I feel like, to me, I feel like Serena played a little bit of tougher era, where the people were whacking the ball. Like you mentioned, there was Capriati, there was Mauresmo, there was Clijsters, there was Henin, there was Davenport, there was Venus Williams. There was a lot of hard hitters. Steffi Graf would be my second one right there. But she is definitely the GOAT. She changed everything. She changed the way women play. She changed the women serve, the way that, most girls, they were so proper in the way they dress. Not this one. She could come out with her denim skirt or her high, whatever, leather boots, whatever. She is definitely the GOAT of tennis. She changed it on the tennis court and outside of the tennis court.
Okay, I had to grab my phone real quick. Sorry about that. But Carl and I were writing material for today. It rained at Mirror Lake, where we hated to even go, but the summer's been crazy with rain. The problem is when it rains there, we leave an hour away, and it takes like 4 hours for the course to dry. So we're sitting there for 4 hours with no internet. It kind of sucks. Okay, anyway, but we Googled up Serena Williams, or not Serena Williams, but which WTA player has the most majors. And this is the first article that came up. Okay, it's from Statista. And I'll quote this. Serena Williams has won the most Grand Slam titles of all time during her career with a total of 23 Grand Slam victories. She pulled clear of Steffi Graf to take the overall lead in the rankings after her success at the 2017 Australian Open, in which she beat her sister, Venus Williams, in the final. I'm quoting that. That goes to tell you how much people respect Margaret Court. No disrespect to her. I'm just saying, Google it. Anyway, also as well, I Googled up the same thing again, but in terms of major wins, and I hit the second story instead of the first one, and it gave me a graph. It gave me a graph like Steffi Graf, but Graph instead of F. Okay, it says top women major winners. Who's at the top of this list?
You can't see that. It's hard to see stuff in there.
Okay, Serena Williams is at the top of the list. And second place is Steffi Graf with 22.
Yeah,
they're
so close. I mean, they're so close, but
no one even recognizes Margaret Court.
I mean, they're so close. Of course, Martina Navratilova, but again, Serena changed everything. Everything. Steffi Graf was one of the best. I love watching Steffi Graf, but she didn't change tennis. She didn't make you want to play. Some of us, not everybody.
Well,
she didn't have the personality.
Well, yes and no. Steffi Graf made me want to go out and play.
Yes,
but I was already a player.
But she didn't capture the American crowd, those minorities.
In other words, she wasn't like Michael Jordan or Mike Tyson when they played.
Right. You didn't go, if I could be like Mike. No, you don't want to be like Steph. Some of us did that understood tennis, but Serena changed that. I mean, look at that. When they would do the kids thing, oh my God, Serena. You know, just like Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. You know, they go to these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, by the way, she just mentioned, I want to be like Mike. You guys know I'm a sneakerhead. Get Jordan. So my youngest son, who is 6, by the way, I made him a deal. I will buy him his first pair of Jordans, nice ones, rare ones. And if he keeps them clean throughout his school year or semester, because these young boys, they grow up really quick, he'll be like a size 8 at the end of the year. I said, look, I'm going to buy you a nice pair of Jordans. And if you keep them clean, I'll let you sell them and I'll get back the money I paid for them. And then any extra money you can make, I'll buy you Pokemon cards. He was like, bet that. So I got him these. I got him the Jordan 12s, right? Baby blue. I got the heart back here, the trophy, that 2, 3 on the back. Boom, boom, boom. So these are JD2s. New Jordans. And so I'm adding another segment to the channel. So, you know, don't like log off or unsubscribe, because you see, I love sneakers and I love the weather and random things that involve this beautiful thing. So, you know, I'm always going to put videos of sneakers, always going to put videos of Carla, and always going to put videos of tennis, right? So be ready for the sneaker ones to go. I have to go back in time and create videos for each shoe that I've had for a lot of time, and I've got a lot of shoes, so it might take a while. So like rainy day shit, all right? Okay. Anyway, moving forward, let's talk about this for a moment. Mankind is really good at remembering negative events, okay? Let's look at customer feedback surveys. I mentioned this because I spent quite a while in the car business with Ford Motor Company and Subaru, being a service manager at the corporate level, okay? So anyway, we would get paid by customer survey responses. In order to get paid, you know, in other words, paid well, you had to have like an 80%, in other words, a B average in your region of customer response surveys, okay? Because I waited and waited and waited for these surveys to come in simply as a way to feed Carla and the kids, I would always come home and tell Carla, I can't continue in this business because only the people that are upset will leave surveys. Anyone that's happy, oh, I got my car fixed, everything's hunky-dory, they washed it, they cleaned it. They don't go home talking about, let me spend 20 minutes on the internet so I can tell them how good they were. It's only the people that are mad generally, and there's outliers to the bell-standard shade curve. I get it. There's outliers. I get it. But the bell-shaped curve within it, the majority of the people, in essence, only take time to leave survey responses if you're freaking mad. And that's a fact, okay? So now, Carla, why do we always tip well, even though the service may be shit? Hence the other day, if you missed her birthday video, check it out. We downloaded it yesterday. We still tip well. We still tell people thank you. We still are appreciative. But at the same time, most people are not, okay? Now, how many of you agree with the mindset that usually only the bad experiences garnish customer response surveys? Okay, you log on to any company and you got 5 stars, you're gonna have a few, and then you have a bunch of stars. It's usually gonna be pretty fucked up, right? Okay, now how does this relate to Serena Williams? Human beings tend to remember the bad and not necessarily the good, hence why we never remember second place. Can you tell me who won? Can you tell me who lost to the winner of the 2018 Australian Open final? I mean, Nadal, Djokovic, maybe on the men's side, but who on the women's side? Like what? No one remembers second place. That's why I always tell my kids, you bet.
Sophia Kenin?
She won it. Sophia Kenin won it.
Not in 2018. Who won 2018?
Serena won it in 17.
Who won in 18?
Osaka, maybe? Did Osaka take it then? Okay. Anyway, but Serena relates to customer surveys the same way. Why? Because human beings tend to remember the worst things. Now, in Serena Williams' career, are the highlights of her career to you certain wins, certain points, certain speeches, certain love moments, or are they when she wanted to shove the ball down Kim Kleischer's throat or made Osaka cry during the U.S. Open post-match interviews when she lost to Osaka? What do you remember more? Do you remember the 0-2 Serena Williams when she beat her sister 7-6, 6-3 in the 0-2 final? I remember it. Wasn't that the same year that Federer beat Philippoussis and the semifinals to make his first Wimbledon final. I may be wrong. Michael Walker will have to correct me on that because he knows that shit like right here.
I remember. I mean, of course, you remember those bad moments, but I don't think that's what we'll remember her for.
Okay, Carly.
I mean, I remember her playing Capriati and changing. I think it was in the quarterfinals they played, and because of that match, they have now a system that we can challenge calls and Hawkeye, and because of this terrible calls that were being made against her. You know, I remember that. Do you remember that?
I do, but look, if you're,
I remember their dad holding up "Welcome to the Williams show" when the two sisters were playing.
And I appreciate
it was constant finals. I think in 2002 she faced her sister 3 times. French, Wimbledon, and U.S. Open.
And
I mean, you gotta remember that. I didn't watch it because personally I didn't like watching the two sisters compete against each other.
Didn't Serena win all those finals?
Yeah.
I think the only tournament she didn't win that year in terms of majors was the French. But I think, Novak Djokovic is really good about winning Wimbledon, then the U.S. Open, coming back and winning the Australian. Serena's the same way. Anyway, Serena won, the French Open in 2009? Did she win the 2009 French?
No, I have here 02, 13, and 15.
The French?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I also remember
when... Oh, it's Federer in 09.
I also remember when Henin said she never put her hand up, and she did, and the whole crowd was against Serena. And that was just a disaster. Terrible for the French people to act that way. They just booed her when she was right the whole time, Just terrible. I mean, she lost that match. I remember that. I thought the French Open, she won it in 02. Did she not win it in 02, or am I wrong?
No, not in 02. She won Wimbledon in 02. She won the US in 02, and she won the Australian Open in 02. She did not win the French in 02. I may be wrong. I asked Mike Walker. He's the history buff. But I don't think, I think it was all 3 of them less the French. Because she beat her sister at Wimbledon for her first Wimbledon title. Serena beat Venus 7-6, 6-3.
Because here, Serena won the French Open in 2002, beating Venus 7-5, 6-3.
Well, she had the calendar year slam there.
They call it the Serena slam. She won 02 French. She won 02 Wimbledon. She won 02 U.S. Open, and then she won the 03 U.S. Open. That's why they called it the Serena
Let's
slam.
go. You're not. Yeah, what's up, Darren? Much love to you, man. Thank you very much for the birthday wishes for Carla. I want to see a new trick shot.
But I do remember the whole Henin thing. It wasn't a final. I mean, I think it was like a quarter or something. I don't remember. But she put her hand out, and it was a disaster. I mean, I also remember her playing Stosur and, again, being... I mean, we know she was bitchy at times, She was bitchy to the umpire. She spoke her mind. She wasn't scared. But like I said, you guys praised Nick Kyrgios and McEnroe. So what's wrong with her doing that?
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are okay with the men doing it. But why is it not okay if she does it? I never understood that. We gave so much grief to Serena for being a woman and because she was powerful. And now, okay, you were telling me, but Serena won it in 02, which is what I said before. 02 Wimbledon, 02 French, 02 US Open, and 03. That's what I was saying. But I don't know when she played Henin, but I remember her, crying or whatever. But anyways, people give her so much grief for telling a lines judge that she was going to shove a ball down her throat. But yeah, you got Nick Kyrgios calling the umpire stupid and shit like that. And they take it and nothing happens to him except a fine. Instead of getting disqualified.
I agree.
Just saying, why would we get on her about that when you got guys that do worse things like Brooksby, Rune, but it's okay. I've never understood that. To me, that pisses me off.
You're missing one thing, Carla. You're missing her ethnicity.
Yeah, I get it. I know why it is, but I'm just saying, it's just, to me, I've never understood why people give her so much grief when we got all these guys doing nastier stuff. You got Zverev, who possibly hit his girlfriend, and everybody's still like, oh, Zverev. You got Bashvili, who is a wife beater, and now fixing matches, but it's okay. We love, you know what I mean? McEnroe, who used drugs, cocaine, put people down, had issues, hit his lady, but everybody's like, McEnroe.
Because that's gringos.
I'm just saying.
They're gringos, and she's not. And look, And that's,
Oh,
and that's,
yeah,
and that's
I'm just saying,
great
he's a
comment. That's a
McEnroe
great
who did
comment.
cocaine,
Yeah.
snorted cocaine before he went to a match, admitted.
Belittle referees, make them look like
I mean,
shit,
but it's okay.
ruin the whole environment for people
It's
watching.
okay. You got Agassi who admitted taking shit before he played.
Yeah,
but it's okay.
And I know a lot of you.
And then they give Sharapova heat over what she did, but yeah, you got these guys who did worse.
Yeah, I know a lot of you might be like, well, what, how do you know? By the way, when I was a young boy, my father and mother would take me to tennis matches at what is now Indian Wells and so forth. And it wasn't Indian Wells then. We had things like the Lipton Tour back in the day, Virginia Slims, whatever. But McEnroe was around. And most of us that were young and McEnroe was playing, we were like cringing on the mom and dad. Like,
I mean, terrible.
We were
terrible.
Not, it was not cool.
People,
not fucking cool at all.
People praise him. And then
McEnroe's a fucking asshole.
He's a hypocrite to like complain about people, tennis players doing that when he did so much worse.
Yeah, McEnroe needs to look in the damn mirror. I love him as a player, love him as a guy, but he's a hypocrite.
Djokovic is an angel when he throws his racket.
And Kyrgios is an angel. As theatrical and outlandish as Kyrgios can be, John McEnroe was worse. And borderline Jimmy Connors.
Oh, Jimmy Connors was terrible too. Jack Nolte says, "Do you remember 2001 Indian Wells?" Yes, the two sisters.
They never
come back.
They never came back after
For
that until like once or twice because they're California natives. Compton, straight out of Compton. Let's go NWA.
Serena, go. That's
but,
right. I mean, you can't fight. Oh,
Cam Williams up there.
She's definitely.
What's up, Cam?
You definitely can't fight that. I mean, anybody to say different is stupid because I mean the lady's done so much for tennis. I mean. I will miss her. I mean, she's been retired, like my daughter said, but I will miss her for sure. I will miss her firepower. I don't think we'll ever see that again. I mean, golf is great, but we won't see that same firepower. Just saying. All
right, so shout out to our oldest son at the Air Force Academy. These are Jordan 12 lows with the Chinese holographic on the side right there. I don't know if you can quite see that, but there's holographic Chinese writing right there. So my oldest son is at the Air Force Academy. He's 20 years old and is going into his junior year. So why do I bring the shoes up? Because I saw Cam there, and how we found Cam in the first place wasn't tennis, was his eBay channel. This is a knowledge drop. Cam Williams can hustle on eBay. He's good at that shit. That's how we found him. So Cam, for you, these weren't from a thrift store though. These were from Nike, and my oldest son Jonathan scored them. The Drogden 25 years in China basketball shoes with the holographic right. I think you see it right there. Bing, 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 bing. So once I get my oldest son Jonathan ordered some custom laces to go in these, which are black instead of the white. So we'll pull the white out, put the black in, and then I'll do the unboxing video for those soon. Love you, Cam, man. You're an inspiration to everybody in the tennis world. Truly that. Truly that. And Darren LeBeau loves you a lot. Check out that Cam Williams dedication video. That's been out for a minute too. Let's go, Darren LeBeau. Go Darren LeBeau.
Michael said Cam Williams got very upset when I said Serena wasn't in shape.
She's not.
She's not though. I mean, that's truthful. I mean, she's not in shape. I feel like had she lost maybe 30 pounds, 20 to 30 pounds, then I feel like she would stay on the tour. But that extra weight definitely doesn't help her.
Look, I know one thing that, and because Cam's here, I'll say this now. For at least 7 years, maybe is it maybe 5, because we started teaching here at Dolphin Island and he was there from day one, right? Has it been 5 years? Am I exaggerating that, Cam?
I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you right now that I would agree with you, Michael Walker. I think Serena is nowhere near the shape that she should be as for a tennis player.
It can't happen.
To me, when I look at her, I feel like she's about 200 pounds, just saying.
Look,
200 pounds. They put her on her thing 150, 160. No way. I'm 150. There's no way. And I'm not.
Damn, you're 150?
Yeah, I'm not even close.
You weigh more than I do.
Of course I do. I got muscles.
Damn.
I'm just saying there's no way that she is my weight. Do you think she's my weight?
I love your weight.
I think
she weighs very good.
I'm talking about Serena. Do you think she's my weight?
No, she's heavier. She's
like
she's taller and thicker.
There's no way.
But back to Cam for a minute.
I'm not in tennis professional shape.
Back to Cam Williams for a minute. For so many years that it's either 5 or 7. It has to be 5 though. It has to be. Whenever we're trying to write information for a show, whatever, we go to the course and teach, and we put on the YouTube Cam Williams' channel. If you haven't seen that, you got to, because it's the best positive energy in tennis you can imagine. And we play it on the courts. And how many students over the years have heard that and have gotten into tennis because of hearing him commentate on it? A freaking lot. Much love, bro. Let's freaking go. Okay. I forgot where my notes were.
Ella said, Nike, pay attention here. Best shoe display. You thought about 190, 10 pounds off. What's the difference? She's got, I watched her match yesterday. And like when you get abs, right? And you got like the six pack, but then they get soft. So on her outfit, you could see her stomach kind of coming out. You could see where she used to have the ab. She's chunky. She might be pregnant. Maybe.
All right. Moving into the next topic. I got these to sprinkle into the next topic. So I got props. Okay. Let's move forward. Okay. I wrote a list of Serena's best moments to me and a list of her worst moments. And I want all of you to tell me whether or not you remember her best moments more or whether you remember her worst moments for. Now, I did write a list of other players first to lay the context of this argument. Okay. A, if I mention Stefano's sissy boy, sissy pants, I'm automatically, if you're asking me, it's a subjective question. It's just me. It's not your opinion. It's just mine. But if someone came up to me and said, "Hey man, do you like Stefano's sissy pants?" You know what I'd say?
I can't type anymore.
All right, be careful.
Okay.
Be careful. Okay, be careful. You start hitting buttons and shit goes haywire real quick. Okay, if someone came up to me and said, "Hey man, do you like Stefano's sissy pants?" You know what I would say? Like right off the top, boom, not even thinking. Man, homeboy hit his dad with a damn tennis racket. He's a bitch. Okay, number one. Number two, yo, bro, do you like Sasha, a.k.a. Alexander Zverev? I'll be like, man, that dude hates puppies. He fired Lindo and he beat on his ex-girlfriend. So much to whereas she doesn't even want him to be even a part of the kid's life, and he doesn't want any damn, and she doesn't want any damn money. Most people that talk shit and blame people for shit against athletes, and Kyrgios himself and Basilashvili have been wrapped up in the same shit. When they want money, you could say, okay, well, she's probably dirty too. But when someone is saying, I don't want any money, I'm just letting you know he's a piece of shit, I don't need his money. Okay, that's how I remember Zverev, puppy hater. Let's talk about Nicolas Basilashvili. What do you remember some limelight moment with Nicolas on his trajectory to be a top 10 player, which he should have been? Or are you going to remember he's going to court in a foreign country for beating on his wife or ex-wife or girlfriend, whatever? What are you going to remember? Okay, let's bring up the next one. David Nalbandian. Do you remember David Nalbandian as the player that beat Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal in the same tournament? The only person who had ever done that? Or do you remember David Nalbandian because he kicked the damn chair and hurt the damn umpire and made it bleed? Which one do you remember him for? Let's talk about John McEnroe. Is there a specific moment in John McEnroe's career that you would say, oh my gosh, man, that was a Muhammad Ali moment, the Rumble in the Jungle? Or are you going to think about him being a dickhead, an asshole? Meanwhile, he's criticizing people like Kyrgios and blah, 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 blah. But yet, the irony is thick. You're the same person, but worse. Okay? Was there as a kid, watched you on the sidelines in California. You're a dick. You're a hypocrite. Next thing, Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios, are you going to remember him even if he wins at Wimbledon or wins the U.S. Open? Are you going to remember him for that? Are you going to remember from jerking off water bottles on the sideline with little girls in the audience? What are you going to remember? Jensen Brooksby, this young asshole. Are you going to remember him already because of some extravagant win or how he disrespected his parents and everybody else in the court and mimicked Francis Tiafoe on the sideline, janking his LeBron James celebration? Get lost. Ron Artest. Are you going to remember Ron Artest, the baller, the Houston Rocket, that was a great player, ultimate defender, and that went up in the crowd and threw chairs in the crowd? Are you going to remember that? Or are you going to remember his defensive greatness? What's up, Stefan Nizovic? Bring that basketball knowledge. Okay. I was going to list Charles Barkley, but Charles Barkley, NBA player, I love ball, basketball. Charles Barkley could be a real asshole, but yet he was a good all-around defensive player. I was going to bring him up, but I left him out. Who are some other athletes that you can write down, you can postulate, you can manifest that you remember their bad attitude, but forget their greatness? Who? Can you name them? There's a trillion of them. Are you going to remember Tiger Woods for winning more majors than you can imagine, being a mixed golf player in a world of rich people, doing what he did? Or are you going to remember Tiger Woods getting in a wreck and breaking his leg and cheating on his wife? What are you going to remember? It's imperative that athletes stay clean. And if you don't want to stay clean, well, guess what? You're never going to be the GOAT. Now, besides Serena Williams' attitude, she stayed clean.
Yes, she did. I mean, what can we say about her? She did drugs? No. She beat up somebody? No.
Nope.
What can you say about her?
No. She was an African American.
She stole something?
She was an African American sister. Let's go. The GOAT that did it by walking and not freaking talking.
Just because she thought, I'm a mom and I'm the queen, and you guys get mad.
Whatever.
Yes, because she could be rude, but she earned that right. You know what I mean?
All right, shifting gears.
I mean, Steffi Graf did it in a way where she was cold and she didn't answer your question if she didn't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She had her own style of doing it. Martina Navratilova was very vocal about the way, you asked her questions, she was going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's nothing you can say bad about her. Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Shifting gears to Novak Djokovic and Daniil Medvedev in the same topic. Okay. Novak Djokovic, as we know, is not going to be playing the U.S. Open. He could not play the Canadian Open because, once again, of his vaccination status. We're not politicians. Every time I read something new about politics, I get dumber as a human being. I'm a dumbass human being. Someone said earlier in the show that every day they're alive, they get dumber because they realize that they're a dumber human being. That's well said. Every time I try to learn something new, I realize that I'm such an idiot, right? Okay. Will Novak Djokovic be missed?
Of course he will be. I think we will lose a lot of tennis fans.
I would think a substantial amount.
I think that he will definitely be missed. Even I'll miss him because I think the guy is solid. Again, there's nothing bad you can say about Novak.
Can't.
Nothing. He is like a Serena. He says what he wants to say. He stands his ground. He does things the way he wants to do it. In a lot of ways, him and Serena are very similar in the way they think.
Yeah. They're
going to do things the way they want, and they don't give a shit what you think.
Yeah.
And they're both, so you got to give them props for that. So, of course, he'll be missed.
Yeah, there's an old saying, and this goes back thousands of years, but this is a saying that I won't speak for you, but this is a saying that I was raised upon. I'm sure my dad's out there, and he'll watch it, if not now, later. But there was a statement or a group of statements that he raised us on as a family, myself and my sister. The statement was this: never talk about race, never talk about religion, and never talk about politics, because you cannot win. Now,
didn't Jeter say that yesterday when they were?
Derek Jeter said the same shit.
Most people don't know that he is African American dad, and his mom is Irish. And people would ask him, "What is your race?" And he never wanted to answer the question. And he said that never talk about what
religion, race, politics. Religion, politics.
He's like, because you're never going to win.
Yeah. Now, how does Novak Djokovic evolve into this conversation? There's a new loaded question that's identical to asking about your race, religion, or politics, and that's, are you vaccinated? We're not going to talk about this. Look, I can tell you I'm vaccinated, or I can tell you I'm not vaccinated, and either way, half of you are going to be mad, and half of you are not going to be mad. But I will tell you one thing. There has been recent literature, JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association studies that have indicated that being vaccinated speeds up any type of cancer process. I'm not going to get into that here. Just read it on your own. Okay, what I'm getting at is this. Since when did politics evolve into tennis? Who was the first person to have politics evolved into tennis? Where did it start? Where did it start? It's been going on for a long damn time. Look, Medvedev couldn't even play Wimbledon because he was Russian. What the hell does that have to do? What does the Ukraine-Russian war have to do with Daniil Medvedev or Sabalenka or give me some others, Azarenka, give me some others, Samsonova? What does it have to do with them in the first place?
What was the girl that won Wimbledon?
They live in Monte Carlo.
What was the girl that won Wimbledon? I already forgot her name. won the women's Wimbledon?
I don't know.
Who won the women's
I'm
Wimbledon?
on a freaking podcast. Can't tell you just won Wimbledon.
Who won?
Who won Wimbledon?
Women's.
Oh shit! Really bad.
Oh my God! Who won women's? You can't remember, can you?
I don't know who won Wimbledon.
It just shows you have no personality. Thank you. If you have no personality,
Right,
you
McKenna
would never
won Wimbledon.
remember them.
Let's go, Jack Nolte.
Holy crap! See, I couldn't even remember who won Wimbledon. You gotta have personality in tennis, and that's why Serena's important. Because
Okay.
you never would have remembered that. And you know what else I remember? Her beating Martina Hingis because I didn't like Martina Hingis. I always thought she was snobbish. See, it took you a while, and I was glad that she beat her in her first Grand Slam when she was 17.
Okay. By the way,
And it's funny, I could not remember Rybakina.
two super right-leaning, on the political agenda. I don't get it. I'm just right at the middle. But two right-leaning tennis players, aka John Isner and Tennis Sandgren. Both of them. John Isner is a Georgia boy, deep in the South. Tennis Sandgren is a Tennessee boy, deep in the South. They both have opened their mouths freely and indicated it is quote unquote lunacy, lunatics would only not allow Novak Djokovic to play. Lunatics. Carl and I went to a Fish concert recently in Orange Beach, Alabama. Packed, sold out nearly. People, thousands of people like this. Not a mask in sight. But Djokovic can't come play at the U.S. Open, where in the top levels of Arthur Ashe Stadium, and I'm telling you this from a credible standpoint, I was at the U.S. Open personally in 2007 and 2008, basically working. But the whole upper deck of Arthur Ashe Stadium is like crickets are chirping. There's no one up there. There's a few people here, a few people there, a few people there. Are you freaking kidding me? So I ask you all this.
It's stupid.
Time is ticking for Novak Djokovic.
It is. It is.
Time is freaking ticking.
It is. Yeah.
As time passes, other players are getting better. As time passes, his body is going through more aging process. Okay. How much of a game changer has it been for Novak Djokovic in the past couple of years? The trajectory to annihilate everybody.
Yeah, it's just been something after something. The throat, right?
Throat hack.
You know, the Olympics, didn't he get also?
Stupid, man. He played doubles, overextended himself and lost.
Yeah. Australian Open, what happened to him?
Criminal. He should sue Australia.
And here we go, U.S. Open. Australian Open supposedly is going to let him play. I don't know. Yeah, but time is ticking. You know, getting old, no one can fight that. Age, you can't fight it. I'm maybe 43 and I tell you I'm feeling good and stuff, but at 20, I felt better. You know? Yes, I can kick 20-year-olds and teenagers' ass, but at 20, I felt better.
But how many days in a row can you do that?
Not many.
Not many. That's the key.
I mean, I'll push myself, but I'll probably get hurt, but I'm not stupid enough to do that.
When you get to be our age, you can play great for one day, but you spend a week recovering.
Yeah, so time is ticking for him. I don't care how great Novak is. Time is ticking for him. And all these little things happening, can't play here, can't play there, can't play there. Eventually, we're going to have a new champion. Someone's going to figure it out.
Yeah, so alluding into this question, kind of like a jam band jamming into their next song, right? Fish does a great job at this. We're going to evolve into this question. Novak Djokovic is not playing because of a ridiculous vaccination status. Meanwhile, everybody else in the country is running around with no mask on and not giving a shit, honestly. So therefore, it's propaganda. It's politically, it's racially biased, whatever. We don't need to delve off on that. We understand it. We know. If you don't know, then you're an idiot. Just saying. I'm the world's biggest idiot.
And if you don't
know, now you know. That's like Biggie Small.
Oh, yeah.
Biggie, 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 can't you see? Sometimes your words just hypnotize me.
You know, one day, I should go to England just to speak that way. Rubbish.
Rubbish.
It's rubbish.
Okay, Novak Djokovic not playing. Here's the question. Who does this open the draw up for? Okay, the last like 20 gazillion majors have been won by the big 3 or 4 outside of a random couple like Del Potro, Wawrinka.
Anybody can win.
Anyway.
Anybody.
Novak Djokovic.
So, Gene?
Novak Djokovic not playing. Who does it open up the draw for? What's up, Gene Swart?
Todos.
Everyone. Okay. Even
First of all, it's not Novak's great best slam, number one, right?
nope.
But number two, to take him out, well, it makes it easier for an underdog because I always say an underdog can win here. People are tired, and your crowd always wants to root for the underdog, or they want to root for the one that's not so popular, or whoever they hate, they go against. So this is not his best slam, but without him being there, it just makes it easier for someone.
Agreed. It fires the mindset.
It definitely won't be Shapo.
No.
Shapo, I watched him last night against Di Minor, and
Garbage.
wow, what the hell happened to Shapo? I was like, geez. I was like, what's going on here?
Shapovalov spent too much time in the studio trying to rap.
It won't be Zverev because he's coming back from an injury.
And a solid injury.
I mean, that takes time to. I don't think it'll be Nadal. He pulled out again because his abdominal is not 100%.
That's theatrical.
I don't think it'll be Rublev. He doesn't have the bolas to win.
No balls.
And Medvedev, who knows? It's hard to repeat at the U.S. Open. Wayne always says it hasn't been someone repeating in a long time.
Yeah. Okay, Rublev, by the way, she brought up Rublev. Rublev looks like a cat, and cats' balls don't drop a lot. Like you see a dog like Sub-Zero, and his balls drop. They're like hanging, slapping his leg. Rublev's a cat, so that shit stays up high. It kind of tucks into the butt. He's got no balls, so he's a cat. Cats ain't got nothing in this business. He's got no ball slap.
What the hell?
Rublev, no balls. He's got no ball slap. Okay.
Nori, no.
Nori?
I'm just mentioning names. Who's the other one?
Snorri.
Who's the other one that made it to the French Open final?
Taylor Fritz?
No. See how forgettable second place is? Come on, help me out here. He made it to the French Open.
Casper Ruud.
Thank you. I don't think so. I'm going to root for Tiafoe or Fritz because they're American. And I'm tired of the fact that Andy Roddick was the last American. So I'm going to root for them.
Let's go, Tiafoe.
I'm going to root for, but I'm not rooting for Kyrgios. I will never root for him. Because if he wins a slam, oh boy.
I tell you what, if Jensen Brooksby rolls up on a set at the U.S. Open and tries to mimic and knock down Tiafoe should jump the net and crack the tennis racket across his spoiled ass head.
I think I'm going to root for Tiafoe. I'm going to root for Taylor Fritz. I'm going to root for all the Americans. Korda, if he's going to play, all the Americans, because we want to see an American win the U.S. Open.
Do you know who I'm going to root for? Gal Monfils.
Okay, that's not bad.
Let's go, Gal Monfils.
That's not bad. I mean, okay, that's not bad. Tsitsipas could, maybe, without Djokovic being there.
Yeah.
He could, maybe.
Okay, moving into the next topic. It's my personal opinion. It's just an opinion. It's subjective. Mm-hmm. That I feel like the player that this opens up the draw for immensely, especially mentally, which is the most important, is Nick Kyrgios. Okay? Nick Kyrgios, next topic. What type of chance does Nick Kyrgios have to win the U.S. Open?
50%.
That's a pretty damn good percentage, given that there's 128 players in the draw. Who?
Everybody's at 50%.
Everybody?
I mean, I don't know. Alcaraz is at 50%.
Alcaraz is at 0.22%. He's not winning the U.S. Open. Alcaraz?
No.
No shot in hell.
I'd rather see someone like Murray win it than
Murray's got no shot in hell.
I think you're putting too much hope on Nick Kyrgios, honestly.
It's
very hard to repeat another final.
I'll take a 5-1 odd bet against the first person I'll take it. I'm guessing it'll be Mike Walker. Okay. 5-1 odds, $20. In other words, if I'm right, you pay me 20. If I'm wrong, I pay you 100. Nick Kyrgios wins the U.S. Open. Mike Walker's going to be like.
So I'm gonna give you my ladies' lesson since you're betting our money.
I'm gonna win anyway.
You're gonna teach. But yeah, I'm gonna give you the little kids since you want to bet our money and didn't ask me because it's a stupid bet.
Okay.
You're gonna teach a little kids.
And then I'll rewind that in respect. Okay. Let me rewind that a little bit because I should have contacted the better half, but that's how confident I am.
Please.
Oh, see, homeboy's already like I'm in.
Yeah, because it's a stupid bet.
Dr. Mario, let's go. See,
stupid
he
bet.
was already like I'm in.
A stupid bet. Stupid. You don't know how to bet. Didn't you learn that in Louisiana?
What? When I went to the casino and dropped 100 on craps in one roll?
It's the same thing. Please stop.
Jeez. All I'm telling you, and Dr. Mario's like, yo.
Please, stop.
Damn.
Come on.
Okay, do you think Nick Kyrgios right now at this point in his career, he just made a Wimbledon final. Do you think he's at the point in his career where he's planning his next theatrical outburst because it's all an act, or is he planning how to win? Where is his mindset at? Is he now wanting to win? He made a Wimbledon final, or is he just continuing to plan out his next Jordan appearance and theatrical performance? Now, I hate to say Jordan appearance because I'm a hypocrite because I love shoes. By the way, I'm going to keep busting out these shoes that my kids got for themselves by buying and selling them at their own that I taught them young. My youngest daughter, she's our youngest daughter, right? Yeah, Gabriella bought these rainbow bang bang Air Force Ones. Boom. And why did she choose the Air Force Ones and not the Jordans? Because I told Gabriella, I'm not buying you a pair of Jordans yet until you can prove to me that you can keep the Air Force Ones clean so we can resell them and you can buy another pair and put some money in your pocket. So I stuck her with the Air Force Ones, no disrespect. You know, Air Forces are great, even though I'd never own a pair. I think they're kind of flat. But anyway, Gabby rolled with the rainbow.
And I told her, save your Pokemon cards because you can make money off of that.
Yeah, save the Pokemon cards.
Oh, man.
Anyway, Nick Kyrgios, can he win the U.S. Open?
No.
Do you think he will?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think he shall.
Nah. And I'm going to be rooting against him on this one.
All right.
I'd rather root for Bashvili. Just saying.
White beater?
No. If Nick Kyrgios wins, a terrible message that we give out there for all those young, inspiring tennis pros, that it's okay to be an asshole, that it's okay to act that way. It's okay to not practice. It's okay. You know, it's okay. You still win a slam. It's okay. And I'm against it. So hell no.
What about those adults that are too good to play with kids?
Oh, that's not my problem.
It is our problem. Okay, next topic. Naomi Osaka.
What's up, SD Tennis? Sorry we missed you today, man.
Oh, you
Guess what?
gotta be careful what you say.
Sorry we missed you.
Be careful.
Sorry we missed you
Someone
today.
might see that shit. Ow.
Sorry we missed you
It's the
today.
fucking truth.
Hey, but the courts are dry. What is?
Just be careful. Might not want to show her any videos again. Okay, Naomi Osaka quits today playing Kaya Kanepi. Okay, we watched the Naomi Osaka match today.
Oh, cool. This is Mike Walker. You sent me the odds. So 150, but he's not playing. Djokovic.
Plus 150. He's
Yeah,
favored.
Medvedev plus 225, Carlos Alcaraz plus 333, Rafael Nadal plus 500, Tsitsipas 1200, Zverev
Where's
plus
Kyrgios
14.
in there? Plus 2,500? Mike Walker, are you freaking serious? Bro,
Stop. You're gonna teach
plus
the little kids.
2,500? Mike Walker, I'll split 50 with you.
He will
50,
teach the little kids. He will teach the little kids if you bet that money.
Who will?
You.
What are you talking about?
I'll give you the lessons that I have to do.
It's
What
not-
do you think, SD Tennis? Should I give him the lessons?
Mike Walker, plus 2,500 right now. I'll split it 50-50 with you. 50-50. If we lose, we're at 50 apiece. If we win, man, we're in 12-50 apiece. Let's go, Mike Walker. You know I'm good for. We already did this before.
Osaka, man. That's just
She quit.
It makes you wonder what the hell. Do you have that tweet?
Oh, I do. Okay, speaking of Naomi Osaka, the other day, Carla and I came across, and this was early in the morning. We get up around 4 a.m., believe it or not, because we have to.
He does, not me. I tell him go back to sleep.
Okay, I get up at 4.
4:30.
I don't plan on it. I don't set an alarm. I just get up. Okay, so there was a tweet, and I don't even have Twitter. That shows you how kind of loud the tweet was. So if I don't have Twitter and I read a comment that came from Twitter and it's already been deleted, it caused a stir. So Naomi Osaka released a tweet, and this tweet was this, and I'll quote, and I'll show it to you. This is Twitter.
They can't read it.
Okay. Here's Naomi Osaka's quote, talking about her parents. Quote on Twitter. Sometimes I wish my parents weren't so rich. Or no, excuse me, let me rephrase that. I was wrong, came out wrong. I was trying to enact her the way she talks. Let me just read what she wrote. Sometimes I wish my parents were rich so I don't have to feel like I need to work for everyone's survival. Let me repeat that. Sometimes I wish my parents were rich so I don't have to feel like I need to work for everyone's survival. Thumbs down. Thumbs down. There's one thing that you must always do is that you must take care and do the best of your ability to help your parents. If not for the parents, who the hell would you be? Would you be alive? Would you be breathing if it wasn't for that contraceptive not night? Would you be alive if that wouldn't have happened? Would you have had these tennis lessons and these coaches if they weren't alive? So don't you owe your whole being to the people that you're dissing and quoting, I wish they were rich so I didn't have to feel like I need to work for everyone's survival? Do you know why in the hell I'm tough on my freaking kids to the point if they bring home a freaking B, I will just absolutely break shit? Because ultimately we raise kids so we have a chance to actually take a break before we die.
I thought it was terrible that she put that out there. First of all, without your parents, you wouldn't have played tennis. Two, I'm sure they paid for a lot of lessons. Your food that you had to put in your mouth.
The travels, the coaches.
Travels, everything. The movies.
Your meals, your shoes.
So for her to say that she wished her parents were rich, then she probably wouldn't be playing tennis.
And by the way, when Osaka was like 13, she was plumpy like the Pillsbury Dough girl. Who got that out of you? Still not all the way out of you. Better respect your parents.
Just terrible. If
Bad
I
karma.
read that as a parent, I would be.
Get lost.
Oh my God.
If my kids.
First of all, but you're okay spending money on your stupid hairstyle.
Your rapper boyfriend that threw the middle finger at the U.S. Open after you won it during COVID. Look, I would promise you, I would rather live under a bridge destitute in a tent if my kid said that shit about me.
You know, what if the parents are snakes? Good question. How many parents a child like to serve?
So they put you on this earth.
She should give. I'm sorry, but I'm sure that
Respect that parent.
I know Serena complained a bit her dad when he had his young wife, but she was right.
That wasn't what the movie depicted. King Richard was it? Wasn't King Richard
no.
about his whole being?
Young wife. He had a young wife that took his money. But anyways, you should. It's pretty easy. You're controlling the money. You know, you give your parents whatever, like monthly. I'll give you this. Well, why is that so hard?
No, let me go tell you what.
I don't
monthly, I
understand.
give you nothing. If my mother or my father, either one of them, Anna, my mom, Dr. Davis, and my dad, if any one of them needed my last cent, they would get it immediately, without equivocation, without anything. Because of them, I'm here.
That's a fact. Anyways, she is rich. I don't know how that
beyond rich.
How would that hurt her?
She's so rich.
Don't you have me mention that you probably don't use all the rooms? I mean, that is being stupid. If I was that rich, I wouldn't buy a mansion that had so many rooms and buy so many ridiculous mansions. You know, I'd spend my money a little bit better. I'm just saying. How hard is it for her? She probably won't even feel it. Like, I don't get it.
She's so rich, she is able to have her boyfriend flip off the world when she wins a major. That's how rich she is. She's so rich, she don't have to care. She can flip you off and laugh at you. But yet, you're not going to handle your parents.
Because of that tweet, I will never support her. I'd never look at her the same way.
Next subject. Not even worth my time. She's worse than Kyrgios.
That's like God saying, you know what? I wish my parents were rich. You know her parents are stuck with her through everything.
I'm going to squash this subject on this. Always help your parents. If not, karma will bite you in the ass. Number 2, if Carl and I were rich and we are...
Why does your voice get like that?
And we are far from that. We are far from that. If we were rich, I can assure you the first people that will be taken care of is my mother and my father. Period. They just lost a daughter. My sister just died. The heartache and grief, I don't give a shit what they want. I will never leave their side, ever, ever. Osaka, kiss my ass on that comment. Grow up. Dumbass. Okay, topic number last.
Topic number
last. Emma Raducanu who? Emma Raducanu what? Who is this? Do you remember?
Berrettini lost today.
Berrettini who? Whatever. Berrettini made it to a Wimbledon final. I get Raducanu won a major, but damn.
Oh, I'm going to watch a Kasatkina dress in a bit.
And you played just like Kasatkina. Speaking of retiring, Serena Williams, that was a big topic. Do you think it's time for Emma Raducanu to retire because she's wasting a bunch of time for qualifiers that could actually make it in the tournament because of your bullshit ranking? Do you think it's time for Emma Raducanu, who the hell you are, to retire? And by the way, why don't we let Darren LeBeau out there, who lives in London, give us the feedback, because that's their backyard girl. And to me, she sucks. Just the same way as we said she sucked after she won the U.S. Open, that cost us 75 subscribers or more, because we said it right after she won the U.S. Open. Now, here we are. We're a long ways removed from that. And what has who done? She had done who jack shit. Sounds like those 75 people that dissed us when we said that this was a sham should resubscribe.
Remember, the money is the root of evil, right? Just saying.
She lost to Camellia Georgie, by the way.
Thank you. I know. I wish we would
Gary.
just stop talking about Raducanu. I mean, I really wish we would stop talking about that. Really,
it's over.
Then what are we talking about?
She's past news. She's in past tense. But let me tell you someone else that's in future tense. Okay? Now, this is Gabriella. They call her Justin Jr. No resemblance at all. Okay? You feeling all right? All right. So how you feeling, pretty lady?
Better.
Feeling better? All right. Well, Gabby, let me ask you a question. Serena Williams is retiring. Does this spark your train of thought at all? No? She doesn't seem to be quite in it yet.
No, let her rest.
We love you anyway. All right? Say bye-bye. All right.
Go lay down, baby.
All right. Anyway, moving forward, when I put her in my lap, I kind of like relaxed. Right?
Right, because she looks like you.
She brings out my relaxed energy. She's like, I set her on my leg and I was all intense, and then I set her on my lap and I'm like, is that how she shares energy? She like depletes it?
I like Jean, your comment. Come to Africa, Osaka, and experience the real meaning of poverty.
Let's go, Jean.
I've lived in Belize. I've lived in Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico. I can tell you the way some of those people live. I cried when I used to pass the train stations because that's where the Haitians live. Their homes were right by the train tracks.
I like the brown, yellow Puerto Ricans and Haitians.
They had no running water, nor running electricity. So it was like just living in kind of like a hut.
Didn't you say that people used to guard your house with machine guns?
Yeah, but I'm not living back. They were living back.
But you still had to have people guard your house with machine guns.
But that didn't matter to me. The fact that the Haitians had to work on the sugarcane fields and live that way with no running water, it was sad. It made you want to cry. And then I remember going with my grandma, because she was Jehovah's Witness, going preaching with her. And we used to go to these people's houses, and their roofs were made out of tin, like, you know, that aluminum.
Yeah.
They had no AC, no running water.
The B-52s had a song.
The ground was cement. It's just very sad. And the kids had no shoes. Their clothes, maybe they wore the same clothes every single day and they washed it. Maybe they had one more thing. I remember when people would come shopping to my grandma's store and I would say they wanted to buy eggs. I'm like, cool, a dozen? And they're like, no, one egg. I'm like, one egg? They would split it up with a family, or a chicken. They would buy chicken. I'm like, oh, you want the whole chicken? No, just one leg. What?
Yeah.
And then that makes you think, my God, we are so blessed, so lucky. But you got a bitch like Osaka complaining about helping her parents? Is that bad? Hell yes, Michael Walker. That is really bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. She should go to Belize, go to Orange Walk Town, and go see how those kids live. How do they go to school? How they sleep? How their parents make money? There is no way you can advance in that country or in that town. And she's complaining about helping her parents out. Yet she has a Nike sponsor and she can have her own business.
And by the way, when we go south of the border, we go to Mexico, we go to Honduras, we go to Belize, we go to Nicaragua, Colombia, Panama, whatever. The chickens aren't injected with steroids. They're not, a chicken in the United States, it comes out of the egg and a week later, this fucking little chicklet is as big as a fucking frying person. It's true. I know it's big as a damn frying hen. Okay, all this shit that they jack up in them so that you can get full, gives you cancer, fucks with your brain and all this other shit. If you go to a country where shit is real and not injected with steroids, you get a chicken that's been alive for a year and it's only this big. It's like a Cornish hen here. So what I'm saying is, you have to really take the way we approach putting shit in our stomach by the amount of science that is behind what we eat. Okay. I'm telling you, you go to Mexico, you go to Tijuana or whatever, and I'm not talking about the touristy areas. I'm talking about away from that. And you want a damn chicken to eat? That sucker's like a 7-year-old chicken, and that sucker's like this. Okay. It's not injected with steroids. It's not injected with shit to change the DNA to make you have cancer. It's real. It's real, and they make it happen.
The tweet didn't come out right, then she's an idiot. She needs to go hire a publicist that can spell for her and write messages. Yeah. She needs to go hire a 5th grader that'll probably write better than her. So just saying, that didn't come out right. She shouldn't even have said it, Michael Walker. Stop making excuses for her.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you make an excuse for that? I mean, that's like me saying on a tweet, I wish that my brother was not even born because they gave him all the attention. I'm just giving you an example.
Yeah,
you know, like, and that's a stupid example. But I'm just saying, how are you going to say, I wish my parents were rich so I didn't have to help them?
Okay, so the last pair of
Selfish.
shoes. So the last pair of shoes that we added to the Stand Tall sneakers resale list. And again, if you guys don't follow the Stand Tall sneakers page, we've had for a very long time, since Montgomery, 10 years. I've just now started to incorporate it on our YouTube channel. I've done 2 videos only, but I have a multitude, a lot of shoes that are resellable, and we have an eBay page and so forth. But this is the latest shoes to add to that. This is a skateboarding shoe, so a Nike SB. I'm from San Francisco, born in San Francisco, right underneath the Golden Gate at what is now the Presidio. That was Fort Baker then. My father was a Captain Navy, and he was a practicing physician at the base then. They closed the base in 1979, and we had to move. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. I'm a San Francisco Giants native. So Nike had the Nike SB, the skateboard dunk high release with the San Francisco Giants colorway. Okay, I got them. Boom. All right. So I got them, and the bubblegum bottoms, that's not real gum. It just mimics the fact that I stepped on it. On the inside of the tongue, I got a baseball glove and a kayak. I don't know if you can see it. Boom, there's the baseball glove. Let's go. On this side, the kayak or the canoe. Why is that canoe important? I don't know if you can see it. Why is that canoe important? Because if you hit a home run out of Giant Stadium, what used to be Candlestick, it ends up in the water. And people on canoes go and fetch that and fight over it so they can sell it on eBay, the same place where we sell these shoes. Anyway, that's it. Which shoe did you like the best today, from our youngest child to our oldest one still in the house? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to remember that for the U.S. Open, we're giving away $700 of our own money. Y-Tech Strings, D&M Sports are giving away the gear comparable. So in other words, if you win the $700, you'd rather have multiple tennis rackets, then D&M will make that happen. If you win the fantasy team, you know, and you want $50 US, and you'd rather have, 5 sets of strings, that's okay. Y-Tech has that handled. So thank you very much to Adam Frio out there. Love you, brother. And Ivor Savage, what's up? Savannah, Georgia, let's go. And we'll see you soon up there in Savannah too, by the way. Anyway, subscribe, guys. Take care. Thank you for the conversation. It was a live today.
Will she ever win a slam? Not if she gets hungry again. She has too much money. No. I don't think Osaka will win again.
Let's get it. I knew that Osaka was kind of mincemeat when she opened up her management firm for athletes. Did she do? Did she open up a?
She should have stayed with Sasha. At this point, she would have been better with Sasha Bajin.
Where is Sasha Bajin?
She wouldn't. He's still with Fishkova. She's playing a match tonight, I think. She would have been better off staying with Sasha, because at least they won slams together. You know what I mean? But anyways, on to tacos, guys. You ready? Mom's gonna make milanese. Tacos. So time to eat, because tomorrow we got a long day. Hopefully you can practice with the clinic. And tournament coming up on the weekend that, I'm gonna be happy to see you play, and my other students.
Does anyone think that Liliana will win?
Yes, it's always hot. Super hot. Terrible. It rained too. I wish we would have been there, because the club, by the way, is banging. All the courts are full.
Yes.
I've never seen the parking lot
Let's
like that.
go.
Oh, we're not there. I looked at my camera.
Let's go.
The parking lot is full. There are no spaces. All the courts are full.
Let's go.
That's what you want in America, in a netting country. People playing tennis.
Let's go.
Because you know what? That means they're not sitting down watching TV getting fat.
Let's go, Mirror Lake. Love it. Let's go.
It was worse than that, but that's hot. That's hot.
Hey, Mike Walker.
Thank you. Do you think all sponsors should drop Emma? I think they should. That way she gets hungry. They should drop her immediately. Immediately.
Hey.
That's what. If I was a sponsor and I see a player's not winning, I'm dropping your ass. Like, I would make the contract if I made only if you're winning. To make him hungry. Only if you're winning.
Didn't Nike drop Roger Federer for the same reason?
Only if you're winning. That would be my contract. You want to be sponsored by my company? Only if you're winning, or your winning rate is at least 70%.
Roger Federer was dissed by Nike because of the same reason.
Just saying.
Okay, by the way, shout out to Trouble Mind, Jack Nolte, Gene Swart, Thomas Chi, Ellen Noir, William Spencer, all of you, and many more for keeping us in the thick of it while we're slugging out the heat all day.
And thank you to
William,
my tennis students. You might have hurt SD tennis feelings, but thank you SD tennis for
oh man, he's better than that.
For getting the group together to getting me an awesome birthday amount. So
I just find it hard to believe.
I was able to buy a Pandora bracelet, tennis charm, and I got my hoodie shorts, Robert. So there you
Let's
go.
go.
And thank you, Flo, for getting me the orange hoodie shorts. And I know I'll get it soon. Thank you very much.
SD Tennis knows me, and we are tight because he knows I'm gonna.
You're talking like you're a wrestler.
He knows that I'm gonna tell it like it is, and I have a hard time believing his wife found that. I believe he showed it to her, and that's okay. But don't put me on the line for telling the truth. That's all I'm saying.
Stop talking about something that doesn't pertain to you, because
All
if
right.
somebody else talked about your
I
problems,
wouldn't give a shit.
you actually would give a shit. Don't be a hypocrite.
Who am I gonna give a shit about?
Let's be real here. Stop it.
Man,
Anyway,
come
stop
on.
it.
We love
Stop
you anyway,
it.
but come on, bro.
Stop it.
No whipping chain.
Stop it. There's
Get back,
no
get back on the grind.
Stop it.
Get back on the grind.
Stop
Stop
it.
messing around.
Stop
Come on,
it.
man.
Stop it.
Ridiculous.
Stop it.
What would you do if someone
Stop
told you
it.
you couldn't go?
Shh. Anyways, guys, have a great day. See you later. Bye-bye.
There you man.
Justin, you would not